Ethan was a young professional who dreamed of making a name for himself. He had a vision, energy, and talent, but he struggled with one crucial skill: persuasion. In meetings, his ideas were often overlooked, and he couldn't get buy-in from colleagues or clients. Ethan knew that if he wanted to succeed, he'd have to learn how to persuade others, not just with words, but with conviction and strategy. This is the story of how Ethan mastered the art of persuasion and transformed his life. 1. Understanding human psychology, the foundation of persuasion. Ethan's first lesson came from a mentor who told him, "If you want to persuade people, you have to understand them first." He realized that people aren't convinced by logic alone. They're driven by emotions, desires, and personal values. Ethan dove into learning about human psychology, studying what drives people to make decisions and why they respond to certain cues. He discovered that people are more likely to be persuaded if they feel heard, understood, and validated. Ethan began paying close attention to others, listening more deeply to their concerns and motivations. In conversations, he asked questions that showed he genuinely cared, creating a foundation of trust. By understanding others' perspectives, he learned to shape his message in a way that resonated with their needs and values, rather than just presenting his own ideas. 2. Building credibility and trust, the key to influence. Ethan also learned that trust is a cornerstone of persuasion. He started to realize that no matter how persuasive his arguments were, people wouldn't listen if they didn't trust him. To build credibility, Ethan focused on being dependable, transparent, and honest. He stopped trying to impress people with his ideas and instead focused on delivering value. In one crucial presentation, instead of focusing solely on his proposal, he first acknowledged the challenges his audience faced and showed empathy toward their concerns. He backed up his points with data, testimonials, and relevant success stories. As he built a reputation for honesty and reliability, his colleagues and clients began to trust him, making them more open to his suggestions. 3. Mastering the power of storytelling. One day, while struggling to persuade his team to adopt a new strategy, Ethan remembered something he'd read: "Facts tell, but stories sell." He realized he could strengthen his arguments by weaving them into a compelling narrative. Instead of presenting dry statistics, he began sharing stories that demonstrated the potential impact of his ideas. For instance, he once needed to convince his team to embrace a new digital tool. Rather than explaining the tool's technical benefits, he told a story about another company that had used it to boost productivity and morale. By painting a picture of what success could look like, Ethan made his team feel the possibilities. Storytelling allowed him to connect with people on an emotional level, making his ideas more memorable and impactful. Practicing active listening and empathy. Ethan's journey took another major turn when he learned about the power of active listening and empathy. He noticed that great persuaders weren't necessarily the loudest or most assertive. They were the ones who truly listened. Ethan started practicing active listening, giving his full attention to others without interrupting or thinking of his next point. In meetings, he mirrored people's emotions and repeated key phrases to show he understood their points. He made an effort to empathize with their concerns and show that he was on their side. Ethan found that when people felt understood, they were more receptive to his ideas. Empathy became his secret weapon, allowing him to diffuse opposition and build connections that led to agreement. 5. Harnessing the principle of reciprocity. Ethan noticed that successful persuaders often gave before they asked for anything. Inspired by this, he began applying the principle of reciprocity. He started helping others with their projects, offering advice, and sharing valuable insights with no strings attached. He made it a habit to contribute meaningfully, whether it was providing a useful resource, helping a colleague solve a problem, or giving constructive feedback. When he later needed support or cooperation, people were more willing to help him in return. Ethan discovered that the more he gave, the more others wanted to reciprocate. This principle of reciprocity helped him become a valuable and respected member of his organization, increasing his influence without him having to push or demand. 6. Framing the message. Speaking to benefits, not features. Ethan also learned the importance of framing his message to highlight the benefits for his audience rather than focusing solely on features. He realized that people are more interested in what's in it for them than the technicalities of a proposal. For example, instead of describing a project management tool as efficient, he framed it as something that would save his team an hour a day. When pitching ideas, he made it a habit to answer the unspoken question, "What's in it for me?" By speaking to others' interests, he found that he could make his ideas far more appealing and relevant. 7. Confidence without arrogance. The persuasive balance. Early in his journey, Ethan's hesitation and nervousness weakened his arguments. He realized that confidence was crucial in persuasion. To build it, he practiced his presentations, refined his talking points, and visualized successful outcomes. He also adopted powerful body language, making eye contact and maintaining a calm tone, which helped him appear more convincing. But he knew there was a fine line between confidence and arrogance. He remained humble, acknowledging others' insights and admitting when he didn't know something. His balance of confidence and humility made people more willing to engage with him, respecting him as both a leader and a teammate. 8. Leveraging social proof. The influence of others. Ethan recognized that people are more likely to be persuaded when they see that others support an idea. He began gathering testimonials, case studies, and endorsements from respected colleagues and clients. Whenever he pitched an idea, he'd mention successful examples of others who had implemented similar concepts. For a major proposal, he even invited a respected industry leader to speak briefly about their positive experience with a similar initiative. This social proof bolstered his credibility, making his audience more receptive. By showing that others trusted and valued his ideas, Ethan was able to sway more people to his side. 9. The art of timing and patience. Ethan had previously made the mistake of pushing too hard or trying to convince people too quickly. He learned that sometimes the best way to persuade someone is to give them time to process the information. He began strategically timing his pitches, gauging when people were more open to new ideas and giving them space to reflect. One of his biggest victories came when he waited to present a risky proposal until he knew his team was facing a problem it could solve. By timing his suggestion when they were more open to change, he encountered far less resistance. Patience and timing became a critical part of his persuasive strategy. 10. Ending with a call to action, the final push. Ethan's last lesson was the power of a clear call to action. He realized that even the best arguments could fall flat if people didn't know what to do next. He started ending his pitches with a simple, actionable step that people could take. Whether it was setting a follow-up meeting or assigning a specific task, he guided his audience toward a clear next step. This small change transformed the way people responded to him. With each call to action, his influence grew and his projects gained momentum. The clearer he was about the next step, the more effective his persuasion became. The transformation. Ethan's mastery of persuasion. Over time, Ethan evolved from a hesitant speaker to a master of persuasion. By combining his understanding of psychology, building trust, telling compelling stories, and listening with empathy, he became someone whose ideas resonated and inspired action. Ethan's journey shows that persuasion isn't about manipulation. It's about understanding others, building trust, and leading with sincerity. Today, Ethan is a respected leader in his field. People listen when he speaks, not because he's forceful, but because he speaks with purpose and authenticity. His story reminds us that mastering the art of persuasion is about connecting with people and inspiring them to believe in a shared vision.